Started out this morning out here on the wall. Which wall? The wall, of course. Watching a number of videos from around the country showing the complete, and I'll say it, hell yeah, I'll say it, engineered breakdown of civilized society. Told you yesterday, people, the pro-death camp, the lunatic fringe, will go apeshit over that Roe v. Wade reversal. And I wasn't wrong. It was an easy observation to make, and I think most of you could see it coming too. And I take pride, Jesus, son of a bitch, 2 more days of it, in trying to learn something new every day. I wasn't disappointed. I learned a new category. Uterus owners. You know, for over 60 years, I thought they were women. Not so. Not just women. Not anymore. You can't make this shit up, people. Even on Tuesday, the 28th of June, 2022. Now, I hope you guys can remember an old podcast when I introduced you to Geordie Rose, co-founder of D-Wave. Yep, the quantum computing people. Elon Musk said of him and his work, they're into something demonic. No shit, Elon. And Geordie admitted as much by saying, we are summoning the demons. Geordie went on to say that demons aren't really good or bad. They simply don't care about humans. Use an analogy. It's kind of like me walking to the bottom of Peter Pit yesterday, down the sidewalk. I didn't go out of my way to step on any ants, but I really didn't care if I stepped on 1 or 2 or half a dozen either. Just the same. But I do take serious issue with Mr. Geordie Rose. The demons care very much for humans. The total destruction of humans. That is our complete elimination. There's a name of an archangel, Gabriel. You won't learn it in your King James Version of the Bible. It's incomplete, people. You're missing books that councils of mere men decided long ago you will not have access to. The same guys who made sure you had Revelation, the book of Revelation, added to your Bibles. Yeah, that's the ones. Come on, Dave, get to your point, God damn it. The point, people, is the super demonic effort to dehumanize people, to attack relentlessly the sanctity of life, be it the unborn or be it the elderly. Come on, Dad, take the pill, take the shot. You have no quality of life left, and you're really getting to becoming a burden to the family. Yeah. Now, for a second witness, I played a few sound bites from Harari. You know him, don't you? Hair Kloss, Anal Schwab's right-hand man and spokesperson. Harari said humans are no longer useful. And when asked what are humans for, he replied, as far as we know, nothing. And the crowd laughed. Imagine that. A crowd of useful idiots that were just told we are working overtime to make you extinct, and the crowd laughed. Go bigger. They tell you what they're doing. They have to tell you what they're doing, and the people laugh. Amazing people. I think Harari is a hybrid, as most of his kind are. And the we he talks about have some very serious heavy hitters on the demonic extra-dimensional side, people. Don't doubt me. Again, Gadriel, to name a very huge big player. But you can't understand what I'm talking about, especially when I mention hybrids and Nephilim bloodlines. Not when you're missing First Enoch and the Book of Jubilees, just to name 2. Now, I'm not going to belabor this point, people, but everything you need to know about what's happening now and what's coming down the road has already been revealed, as promised. And the best part is, you'll know why. Now, moving on. I said this before, and I don't mean to sound mean-spirited, but agriculture is in serious, deep shit. Farmers, ranchers, how are you doing it? I don't get it. The odds are so stacked against you, and the odds are getting worse. Now, not all the videos I watched this morning concerned the pro-death, lunatic fringe protesters. Nope, here's a 2 I'm going to play a couple of sound bites from farmer ranchers. And, well, they look like women to me, but they could be uterus owners. I don't know. You can't know anymore. Here we go.
Sometimes I wonder if agriculture is going to be at the top of our conversations. What our food security is going to look like in the next 10 years. Are we educating our children? to grow up in a community that understands the importance of feeding the world. I don't know about you, but I'm tired of the government and influencers and stay-at-home moms educating people about agriculture. Farmers and ranchers know best. Why don't we listen to them? We listen to nurses and we listen to doctors when we get sick. But
maybe we shouldn't have listened to the nurses and the doctors. Just saying.
When it comes to our food, we let media take over. Here's what's happening in our country. They are trying to persuade you about what you buy at the grocery store. They are giving you other options that are lab-grown, chemically-based food, and they're calling it healthier. They're calling it vegan and vegetarian and non-GMO because these big companies, these politicians are investing in this food for our future. Education has to come from the farmer and rancher. That's who grows your food.
If I was a betting man, I'd sure say that looked like a woman. Sure sounded like a woman. But I guess since I learned something new today, I guess that's just a uterus owner. Damn. Okay, as promised, people. Soundbite number 2. No, I think this is a woman too. But you know, in today's world, you just can't tell.
On a conversation today, and the woman, honestly, bless her heart, honestly thinks that food prices are not going to go up. She thinks that this is the highest they're going to go. I tried to explain to her that that was not the case, that they are absolutely going to go up even more. And I told her there are things that we have to buy. There's something we had to buy that 2 years ago cost us $24. Last year was about $46. This year it is costing us $96. Okay? Local farmer, 50 head of cattle. It's costing him $8,000 a month to feed them. Please understand, food prices are going to go up. You want to act like it's the farmer's fault. It is not the farmer's fault. We're barely making it to grow the stuff so you guys are able to get it in August, September, October.
Sorry to say this, but yeah, they're going to blame the farmers. They're going to blame the ranchers. And it shouldn't be. I agree. Hey, listen, I'm not against you guys, farmers, ranchers. I don't know how you do it. Anyhow, and finally, what podcast would be complete without a soundbite from the original Bad News broadcast? Yep, Dane Wigington, geoengineeringwatch.org. Hope this comes out. Here we go.
The so-called reckoning comes in countless forms. It's global, and we're far past the point of no return. Those that don't yet see it or believe it will, sooner than they can imagine. Another headline, same theme, preparing for the reality of financial collapse. This is from last week. This financial collapse report states this, quote, at the root of this collapse is money printing. In the last 50 years, the U.S. has had only 4 years during which it made a profit, and that profit wouldn't even cover 6 months' worth of the current annual deficit. In short, the U.S. is well beyond bankruptcy. That sounds bad, doesn't it? Reality is unimaginably worse than that. The headline I just covered should have stated, preparing for the reality of final collapse. The financial part is only a small sliver of what's coming. And what's mainstream media distracting populations with? Divorce trials, the ongoing political circus of meaningless idiocy on every channel. The frontline reports of existential importance are swept under the rug. The even more troubling truth, far too many are fine with the total omissions of dire truth. They don't want to know. How perplexing that has always been to me.
Yeah, you know, I can't figure it out either. There are some people that insist upon their constitutional right to bury their head in the sand, but you know what sticks out, people? And during Papa Romeo India Delta Echo Month, I don't think I'd want that hanging out there in midair.
How many so-called caring people, so-called patriotic people that don't really want the truths that are uncomfortable? And about all the deception that far too much of the population so willfully embraces, lying representatives of our so-called government from both sides of the political divide are participating with all of it. The demagogue is one who preaches doctrines he knows to be untrue to men he knows to be idiots. That's a quote from H.L. Mencken. The pyramid scheme known as industrialized, militarized, so-called civilization is accelerating at blinding speed toward total collapse. And so are Earth's life support systems. No food, no people. Simple. And for those that feel buying lots and lots of guns and bullets will save you from what's coming, think again. While we're on the subject of bullets, let's not forget that in 2012, the U.S. government stocked up its alphabet agencies like Department of Homeland Security with some 2.4 billion 40 caliber hollow point bullets. Why? What are they preparing for? That blank's not hard to fill in for any that have summoned the courage to face the wider horizon.
Yeah, cool. How cool is that? 2.4 billion rounds of 40 caliber hollow point ammo. Wonder what they got in mind with that stuff. Alright, people. How many witnesses do you need? I'm just doing my job on the wall. I'm not the original bad news broadcast, but I'm the not so good news broadcast podcast man. Guess what? I'm always behind. I got stuff to do.